Hello and welcome to this project. In this project, we are going to create a sci-fi blade inside Substance Painter with using some special techniques. It's not a common technique and it's not a common way to use Substance Painter, but we are going to break some rules and use Substance Painter in different way. So for the first step, let's break down the model. We need to analyze the model, and when we planning to use displacement modeling in Painter, we need to have some special topology rules inside the model. So let's break it. And for this model, it's so simple. As you can see, there is no detail on the model and just the big shapes. And we are going to create some medium shapes inside Painter. And after that, we are going to add small details inside Painter. And we are planning to use displacement modeling. So I have a high dense mesh over here, as you can see, and the topology, as we mentioned before, it should be quad. Okay, it should be quad. It means 4 vertex, not more, not less. And the best situation for the topology, it's like a square one, not rectangular with stretch faces. So this is our just only limitation in topology, and that's it. We are ready to go. As you can see, I have some rectangular topology too, but it's not a big deal for this edge because we don't have any special detail here, and we can provide the quality with a higher amount in subdivision. Okay, the next thing that we should consider during the preparation model, it's like, okay, we cannot see the two sides of the model at the same time. So we can do one specific action, and it's like create a slice from the center of the model, and we can provide the other side of the model with overlapping technique in the UV. So in this part, if I open the UV editor, you can see what I am in. Okay. So this is my UV space. And as you can see, my cluster or UV island is so big. Okay. And for this one, if I go to the UV editor, as you can see, the UV island, they are so small, and we cannot create a good quality texture with a smaller size. For example, with 2K, we need to increase our textures to 4K to have a good and acceptable result. But in this scenario, we can remove the half of the model and unwrap the other side. And after finishing the unwrapping, we can use symmetry or mirror or anything like that in the 3D modeling software and provide the other side. And when we texturing this side, it's going to apply to other side at the same location. So there is some drawbacks in this technique, but it's very good to save some space, and we are going to use it a lot. So for this project, I'm going to use opacity in the border and in the blade section. So with this technique, I can provide the same location in the opacity alpha that I'm using in the blade in the other side. Okay, so this is my technique that I'm using, and let's bring back the final model. And for avoiding any issue during the texture process, I'm going to use the full model inside Substance Painter. But the concept behind this model is the same as the half and the slice modeled. So as you can see, if I select this part, let's enable the element here. I just have this UV island related to the one side inside the UV space, and they are going to read the data from UV space 1. So it's not a UV tile workflow, and we are going to use overlap technique here. So this is the main two factor we should consider for this project. And I'm going to export this model and import it to Substance Painter and continue my way. Okay, let's start the process with dragging and dropping the model inside Painter. And we are using template ASM PBR metallic roughness, and the document resolution is 1K. Normal format is DirectX, and the other section here should be the same. So I'm going to press OK, and the model is loading right now. And as you can see, everything is fine. But what happened when we are using overlap? So the concept is so easy. When I paint here, this is my texture area, right? This is my UV space, and I can create anything that I want inside this square. So what happened when I have this UV island here? These textures are creating on this UV island. And whenever I have something like this in outside of the UV space or texture area, it's going to read the data from inside of texture area. So when the position of this UV island is the same position inside of the texture area, the data is appear inside this UV island exactly the same when I was created here. So this is the main concept here. And let's show you. Okay, I'm going to create something here. And as you can see, the data appear here without any symmetry tool or anything else. So this is the main concept that we have for this project. Okay, so let's do the settings for viewport setting, shader setting, and do the mesh maps. So this is the primary step that we are starting a new project inside Substance Painter. So for the shader setting, I'm going to enable displacement and tessellation. And for the starting project, I'm going to 10 for subdivision count. And for the height, I think this amount is good. And we are using alpha blending in the blade section. So we are going to enable this. I'm going to enable bends normal. And for the geometry, I can turn on the double-sided. And for the specular quality, I'm going with the medio. So this is the main setting for the shader. And now let's go for the display setting. For the environment map, I'm going to change it to Studio Tomoko. And after that, let's increase the environment exposure to 1. And for the focal length, I'm going to use 80 for now. And in here, for tune mapping, I'm going to use ACES. So this is the main setting that I want to do inside display setting. So for the set setting, I'm going to add ambient occlusion and opacity. And because we are using sci-fi TEM, I'm going to use emissive 2, and that's it. So we are ready to go, and let's go to the mesh map baking mode. And in here, I'm going to turn on bends normal. In the output size, I'm going to select 4K, and in the anti-aliasing, I'm going to set super sampling 64x. So this is the main setting, and we are going to bake our mesh maps. Okay, we are ready to go, and for the start process, I'm going to create 2 folders. One of them is related to the blade section, and the other one is related to handle section. So for the main design, I'm going to create a hole inside of the blade and some chunk from the border. And for the handle section, I just use some alpha to create complex shape. So after creating folder and creating mask for those folders, I'm going to import my resources and start to adding details on the surface. So let's do that. I'm going to create two folders. One is for blade and the other is for handle. Okay, the mask should be like this. Yeah, polygon fill. It's a good tool for creating mask. Okay, that's it. I'm going to invert and deselect the blade section. Everything is fine. I'm going to add two fill layer for base. So inside each folder, I'm going to create another base layer to fill all the channels together. So we have our default value in this way. Okay. So for the blade part, I'm going to add a fill layer and I'm call it center cut. So for the center cut, I'm going to add a black mask. And in here, I just need opacity and height. For the opacity, I need 0 amount. And for the height, I need -1. So when I paint here, as you can see, this is the result that I'm looking for. So let's add a paint layer here. And I'm going to the UV section. In the properties paint, I'm going to change alignments to UV and size space to texture. That's it. And now I can create this hole inside the blade. So everything is okay, but I need to use Control Z and increase the hardness, because after that I want to have a control for the bevel or the gradient inside the border. So let's decrease the amount of this. And yeah, that's it. Let's enable the symmetry. Okay. So let's erase this one. And now just want to write this. Yeah, it's perfect. So maybe decrease the spacing, for example, to 1, can help me avoid this jiggle effect in the border. So let's add another. And yeah, as you can see, everything is perfect. I need to try 2 or 3 times to get the result that I want. Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect right now, actually. And I'm happy with the result. So after that, I came over here and add a filter. I'm going to use bevel. And that's it. Let's increase the smoothing. Something like 35. Yeah, I think it's good for a starting part. We can control these holes with the distance and smoothing slider. So yeah, like this. Okay, this is my holes. Maybe a little in the outside. Yeah, it's better. And let's go for the border. I'm going to add an anchor point here so I can recall it the mask in the next layers. So I need to create another fill layer, but it's a better way to just duplicate this layer and rename it to border cut, and you can delete the anchor point and add an anchor point again. So now I can delete the paint and the bevel, and I'm going to add a paint again. And this time I'm going to use an alpha for the effect that I want, but you can paint this effect with any alpha that you want. So you can get this effect very easy. Now you can shape your model inside Substance Painter, and it's awesome. So let's bring the alpha that I want to use this project. Okay, I'm going to open the library and let's bring them here. I'm going to use all of them for the alpha, and I'm going to import it to the project. Yeah, like this. And even I need to use it as a texture or grayscale or in the fill layer, I can use it when I import it as alpha. So for this purpose, I'm going to use alpha number 6. Okay. Now I can paint on the model. So for the first, I'm going to add my chunk border here. And after that, maybe here, here, and here. So let's do that. Okay, I need to rotate my alpha 90 degree and bring up the size. As you can see, the little red dot on the UV island in the mirror side, you are okay. But when you move your mouse outside the UV island, you can see the red dot, it stop moving. So it's not okay because when you press click, it's not working. So pay attention to this little thing. Yeah, I'm happy with the result. Okay, so let's go back to the size number 5 and 0 for the rotation and angle. And let's add the detail. Yeah, everything is okay. So we just create our border cut. And now I need to check the mask. Okay, I need to do some cleanup here. So I'm going to add another paint layer. I'm going to change the blending mode to subtract and just paint here to remove this part that I don't want to have the mask. So easy. Okay, that's okay. Even you can use the UV chunk. You just select all the UV islands, and after that you can deselect these two UV island to avoid removing whatever you want, whatever you paint before. So let's add the bevel. Okay, the bevel is too much, I think. Maybe 0.2, it's better. Yeah, without bevel and with bevel, maybe a little higher amount is good. Maybe 0.3 is better, and we can play with the smoothing. Yeah, this one is okay. 0.3. Okay, let's move to the next layer. For the next layer, I'm going to add another fill layer, and I'm going to call it layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3. So I need to have 3 different levels here. The level 1, it's like this, and you can see it here. It's a top layer, and the level 2, it's a mid-level. It's going around here and inside the level 1, and the level 3, it's outside in here. So actually we don't want level 3 because the level 3, we have it right now on the surface. But for the level 2 and level 1, I'm going to call it level 1 and level 2. Okay, we just need to have height amount. for both of them, and everything is okay right now. And let's add level 1 black mask. And for this one, I'm going to use a fill layer. And it's a little bit strange and it's uncommon way to create mask, but it's perfect because we are using projection. I'm going to use a fill layer, and let's create one. And after that, let's change the projection to planar projection, and shape crop to projection crop to the shape, and UV wrap should be set on none. So in this way, if I move the shape outside of the blade, the mask is changing. So for this, I'm going to create a narrow box, and let's move the shape to this part. And as you can see, if I increase the height, this is the result that we have here. So let's add a filter like histogram scan, and now we can play with the contrast to control this part. That's it. And as you can see, we have the perfect shape here. So let's play with the position. Okay, that's it. I'm looking for this. Yeah. So let's set a good amount for the height here. And now I need to subtract the center cut from this one. So let's recall the center cut and change the blending mode to subtract. So let's bring up the position to create a white mask. And that's it. Everything is perfect here. So let's move the projection again. And now we have our mask perfectly at the position that we want, and we can move it, change it, and reshape it to what that we are looking for that. So this one was a little tricky, and now I'm going to add another paint layer, or maybe we can use the path tool here. That's it. I'm going to create, let's demonstrate for you first. I'm going to create this kind of shape here. Okay. And I'm going to remove all this section, and maybe in a small chunk here to create a separate piece in here. And after that, I'm going to use this kind of shape in here. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to use path because I need some curve. And let's create this one. Okay, and this one. So I'm going to change the blending mode to subtract and decrease the size because we just want to have a line, nothing more. And we can play with the hardness. Okay, and the size again. And let's place this mask in here. Okay. Okay, for saving time, I create a little time lapse, but it's not as special. Okay, we was here, and I just use the pass tool to create the line. And after that, I create another sublayer with subtract blending mode and remove the part that I don't want. So it wasn't fancy action, just repeating, and repeating some stuff. And that's it. This is the result that we are seeking for. I'm going here and add a filter like bevel or beller. Maybe beller is a good, with the right amount. Yeah, it's better. So let's go and add the hexagon. Okay, this one is okay. And I'm going to turn off the UV wrap and move this to here. As you can see. Okay. And let's change the blending mode to linear dodge. And boom. We have what we want. And with the blur, okay, with the blur filter, we make the gradient in the edge, but for the outer line, it's too much. Maybe control it with the contrast in the histogram scan. It's a good idea. Yeah. And this is the result. Yeah, I'm happy with the result. It's okay. It's very, very smooth and very good. That's it. So maybe we can come over here and go to the path. Select this one and play with the position of the dot. Okay, that's it. So it's okay. I'm going to add another fill layer, and I want to use the alpha that I imported inside the painter. I can come over here and go to the project, and yeah, I'm going to use the alpha number 1, and I need to change the UV projection to wrap projection. Okay, and now let's scale down this one, and I'm going to change the blending mode to subtract. So let's go back to the mask and see what's happened here. Okay, I'm going to rotate it. That's it. Yeah, like this. Okay, and I want to create a mirror from this side to this side. For this purpose, I need to duplicate the fill layer and move it here. And after that, I can use this controller to mirror the shape and adjust it here. And that's it. We have this filter here like this. Okay. So let's increase the texture size inside the viewport to 2K to see what happened exactly here. And yeah, everything is perfect. That's it. We just need to fix the position. I'm going to change. No, it's not related to this. Let's bring down the blur. Yeah, it's better. It's so much better. It's so much better right now. The blur creates some artifact inside the subtract area. And we are ready to go for other details that we want to add. For example, I'm going to add a detail here. And in here, and in here. So let's add another fill layer. I'm going to call it level 1 detail negative, and I just need to have height. And in the black mask, I'm going to use the alpha that I import, something like this one, alpha 3. Okay, that's okay. And now I'm going to set the UV wrap to none, and in the UV space, let's move it to here. Okay. So in the height section, I'm going to make value to negative, and let's fix the mask. Okay, like this one. And let's see what's happened. Yeah, and let's increase the height amount, for example, to -0.2 or -0.3. Yeah, it's okay. And let's duplicate this fill layer, and we need change blending mode to linear dodge. And now I can see what happened here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's it. Okay, and maybe there is some issue around here because the two surfaces too close together, and I can add a paint layer and just paint here. Okay, let's go to paint over here. Yeah, to control the surface priority. And as you can see, it's fixed the issue that the two surfaces conflict together. That's it. Okay. So let's add another detail. We can save time, we duplicate this layer and just change the alpha. Okay, I'm going to use alpha number 9. And in here, as you can see, I can have this kind of effect. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. And let's duplicate this one. Yeah. Easy. Okay, this is enough for this video. Let's go to the next video and continue this process together.